Sagat was born in a small rural village in Thailand. From the moment he drew his first breath, he was unlike any child the villagers had ever seen. He was born huge, strong, broad, and fierce, even as an infant. Some whispered he was a freak of nature. Others said he carried the spirit of a tiger. But no one could deny one truth. He was destined to stand apart from everyone else. As he grew, his strength defied all reason. Before he was even old enough to start school, he could lift burdens that fully grown men struggled to carry. He did not ask for this power. It was simply part of him. But in a poor village where every drop of water was precious, being different drew eyes and fear. Fate gave him great strength, then took away everyone who might have loved him. Before he was old enough to understand loss, Sagat was an orphan. No parents, no family, no one to guide him. He stood alone, with nothing but the ground beneath his feet and the weight of his own future on his shoulders. The villagers saw his size and his power, and instead of helping him, they feared him. They blamed him for bad luck, for things he never did. They drove him from the only home he had ever known. And so, the boy who had nowhere to go set out into the world alone. The streets were his new home. He slept where he could, ate what he could find. Kindness was rare, but he found it in the smallest things. This stray dog was the first living creature that did not run from him, did not fear him. For a moment, he was not the giant boy people feared. He was just someone who did not want to be alone. But kindness could not keep him safe. Wherever he went, people tried to tear him down. He learned to fight not for glory, not for pride, but simply to survive. These early brawls were not matches, they were lessons. Every punch he blocked taught him how to stay standing. And so the hardest truth settled in his heart. In this cruel world, mercy was a weakness. To live, to keep breathing, to protect what was his, he would have to be harder, stronger, and more unyielding than anyone who tried to hurt him. He would become a tiger. Over years of running and fighting, his body bore many scars, but one would change everything. Thorns, stones, and blows all struck his right eye again and again. With every cut, it grew weaker, more sensitive, more fragile. It was the first crack in his armor. It was not one single moment that cost him his sight. It was 1,000 small hurts piled one upon another. This wound was the worst yet, leaving his right eye permanently fragile, a weakness that would follow him for the rest of his life. Sagat knew raw strength was not enough. He had the power, but not the discipline, not the skill, not the soul of a true warrior. And so he set out on the hardest journey of all, to find the masters who could teach him what it truly means to be strong. For hours he stood. No striking, no kicking, only stillness. His master taught him, true strength is not how hard you hit, but how long you can hold your ground. Raw power without discipline is like a wild tiger without claws, frightening but useless. And so the boy began to build not just his body, but his soul. By the time he was 15, he moved not like a man fighting, but like the very wind itself. Every strike precise, every stance rooted like an ancient tree. The masters saw it then. He had not just learned Muay Thai, he had become it. And so they bowed to him, for he had earned the right to walk his own path. Word of his skill spread fast. In the shadowed rings of the slums, men twice his age stepped forward to test him. None could stand. He fought not with anger now, but with the cold, perfect efficiency of a master. In seconds, the strongest brawler fell, and the crowd fell silent. From village to town, from market to hall, rumors traveled on every wind. Have you seen the boy? The giant who cannot be beaten? He was no longer just a survivor. He was a legend in the making. 10 of the finest warriors in the land gathered together. They said, "No one man can be this strong." Together, they would break him. The first stepped forward, certain he would prevail. He did not know he was walking into the tiger's den. One by one they came. One by one they fell. By the fifth, Sagat moved faster than eyes could follow. No fatigue, no hesitation, no mercy. He was proving what he had always known. Numbers mean nothing against true greatness. The 10th and strongest stepped forward, the last hope of his people. He fought with every skill he possessed, with all his heart. But in the end, he too knelt. There was no shame in it. He had simply met something beyond human. And then the crowd roared, a single voice rising from thousands. The tiger. From that day forward, he would carry this name, not as a title given by men, but as a mark earned by blood, sweat, and unyielding will. Sagat, the tiger of Siam. Before he could truly rule, he must face the king. Nuakuan, the Iron Fist, had held the crown for 10 long years. He looked at Sagat and saw not a rival, but the future. And for the first time in his life, the old champion felt fear and respect. The fight was long, and it was brutal. Nuakuan was fast, precise, and wise. He struck where others would not dare. But Sagat was different. He took every blow and grew stronger with every step. He was waiting for one single moment. When it came, he rose higher than any man should fly. He brought his knee down with the weight of mountains. It was not just a strike, it was the end of an era. The old king fell, and the new king stood. They placed the golden belt around his waist. He was the youngest champion in history. Among the thousands watching, one young man stared with eyes full of fire. A boy named Adon, who dreamed of walking the same path. Adon knelt before him in the dust, begging to learn the way of the tiger. Sagat looked down and saw his own younger self, hungry, fierce, alone. He reached out his hand. For the first time, he would pass on what he had learned. 1 year later, the call came again. He would defend his crown against Go Hibiki, a fighter known for wildness, for tricks, for fighting without honor. He only hoped the man would show some respect, but Go Hibiki cared nothing for respect. He shoved past guards, ignored custom, and looked at the champion with nothing but scorn. He came not to fight, but to tear down everything Sagat had built. The match began in chaos. Blow after blow landed hard and fast. There was no rhythm, no grace, only raw violence. Sagat held his ground, but he could feel the old weakness stirring in his right eye. They clashed close, too close. Go's hand swept wild and uncontrolled. It was not meant to hurt, but it caught exactly where Sagat had been wounded 100 times before. And in that moment, his world went dark. Pain like nothing he had ever known tore through him. He fell to his knees, screaming, clutching his face. The crowd fell silent. The tiger had been struck in his most fragile place. Blinded by hurt and rage, he struck out without thinking. Pure, golden energy burst from his palms, a force born of pain and fury. It knocked Go Hibiki cold. Sagat won the fight, but the victory tasted like ash. For days, he sat in silence. He had won his title, but lost something far more precious. He looked at the world through one eye and saw only shadows. He vowed, never again would he be weak. Never again would he let pain rule him. He cut thick leather, shaped it to his face, and strapped it tight. It was not just a covering, it was armor, a reminder. From this day forward, he would see the world clearly, with one eye and one purpose. He looked out across his land, and his heart turned cold. He had learned the hardest lesson of all. To be truly strong, you must first become hard. And so, the boy who had once shared bread with a dog was gone. In his place stood the Emperor. When he walked into the arena once more, the crowd did not cheer, they roared. He was different now, bald, unyielding, marked by loss. He was no longer just a fighter. He was the god of Muay Thai. To rule Thailand was not enough. He would prove he was the strongest on earth. And so he made a decision that would change history. He would gather the greatest warriors from every land and face them all. Scrolls were carried across oceans, over mountains, into every corner of the world. Masters of every style answered the call, from Japan, from America, from China, from Brazil. The first World Warrior Tournament had begun. Built before the ancient reclining Buddha rose a stage like no other. Here, the strongest would stand. Here, the tiger would show the world his true power. They came in their thousands, each carrying their own pride, their own dream. Among them walked a quiet young man in white, carrying nothing but his gi and his discipline. His name was Ryu. From on high, Sagat watched every fight. He saw skill, he saw heart, he saw power. But none moved him. None matched the fire that burned within him. Every fighter he faced fell before him. Their strength, their skills, their courage, none of it was enough. One by one, they broke beneath the tiger's power. Not a single warrior had proven his equal. As Sagat watched the final challenger approach, he believed this battle would be no different. And then there were only two: the giant of Thailand and the wanderer from Japan. Sagat looked at the small figure before him and smiled. He thought, "This will be easy."
This is the path of my destiny.
For a long time, it was exactly as he expected. He struck with tiger shots, crushed with knees, battered with blows. Ryu stumbled, bled, struggled to remain standing. The end seemed certain. Sagat roared and charged, rearing back to deliver one final, crushing strike. But Ryu dove aside, vanishing from his path. In the same breath, the young warrior leaped upward and unleashed a shoryuken that shook the very stones. But this was no ordinary punch. In that desperate moment, something dark had awakened in Ryu. His eyes turned black. His aura burned with red fire. He had tapped into the Satsui no Hado, the surge of killing intent. He rose higher than thought possible, fire coiling around his fist like a living flame. It was not just a blow, it was a force of destruction. And it struck true. The impact threw Sagat backward across the whole stage. When he looked down, he saw it. A jagged mark burned deep into his chest, shaped like the claw of a tiger. He had been defeated. Truly, completely defeated. He did not weep. He did not rage. He simply touched the scar and accepted it. He had met a power he could not yet understand. And from that day forward, he would walk a new road, toward vengeance, and then toward something far greater.
Sagat the best is now the fighter in the world.